White man with honor say, no, I know how he feels. And in the moment his heart beat, the moment we all reached for steel. You might say, wasn't it already beating before? I didn't notice it because of that Babylonian whore. But here we are, ready for war, by a liquor store, intoxicants, toxins. My indigenous people, it's time we get together and share our knowledge often. Eugenicists say, put that boy in a coffin. Harry Laughlin, Madison Grant, Cold Spring Harbor, I go harder, the image of the Father in my Father through his Son. We all are related to Chukwuemeka. There's no excuse for actions that weren't done, battles that weren't won. Why exchange happiness, humanity, for devil fun? The devil say that's a devil gun, because they know you can kill a devil with one. I want us to succeed. Every race treated equally, because we're all family, and they want to fuck with my family. There are some people who don't like and don't understand it. Sibling rivalry, tribal disagreements, people who believe for a reason in godless heathens, they label them godless seasons after pagan deities. You know, the leaves are for the healing. Love isn't just for the feeling. I carry my cross, even if they nail me to it upside down, to the ceiling. Blood dripping. Start the whipping. The blood in the champagne glass. Who's sipping? On earth, who do you think would drink? Filling their soul because they're not a man in his glory, in dark blue, dark green. They're a hypocrite in pink. Should you care what a hypocrite think? That's powerful propaganda when you do. I'm a falcon, and they think they can just treat me like a fly. Shoo. Nigga, who's bugging who? And when I pierced your flesh, my blade was true. Like my intentions. You care about your pensions. In the ending. I think a lot of you in secret societies know a lot of what I'm going to say already. But I think it will benefit you if you start thinking about this on a regular basis. The least you people in secret societies can do is think every night about, is this the right thing to do? Should I come forward and, should I start gathering evidence and come forward? Things of this nature, And you have to understand the difference between a cult that started culture, a tribe's natural hierarchy and traditional order, and a globalist secret society like the Freemasons with 6 million plus members, over 2 million in America alone, in the United States of America alone. So when you are in, say you're a Black Mason, right? It's not the same as being in the Leopard Society in Nigeria, in the forest somewhere, being initiated. You feel me? You're in a Western style society. Can we all agree on that? Can we all agree that, hey, that's how it is? They wouldn't call it masonry. They wouldn't wear the aprons. They wouldn't have statues of Pike if it wasn't a global Western society designed to bring people in to Western philosophy. I mean, isn't that very straightforward? Regardless what the philosophy is, it has to be that way. There's no other way it could be, right? Okay. So what does it mean, right? It means, well, being in a secret society is not truly representing your people. You're representing the people in charge, the globalists, right? So you can't sit there and be feeling holy and spiritual. It's like, well, you're not one of us, buddy. You're a Freemason. You're not a martial artist in the Leopard Society. You're not a Zulu warrior. I mean, no disrespect to try. I'm not trying to crush you as a human, but you need to realize the difference. You don't know who you are. You let these secret society people tell you who you are to the point where you've joined their secret societies and you're propagating their philosophies, feminism, Greco-Roman ideas of homosexuality and how gender relations should be, and gender feminism, right? You're propagating their perspectives, their philosophies, their culture, their falsehoods. So these are the people who have chosen wealth and a position in society over the rest of us. And you want to be among them. So you can snob us as well and say, oh, I have a lot of money. And, oh, what did my father do with his money? He gave millions back to society. White people and everything. There's white people right now we took in, who are like, yes, there's a white kid named after my father. Okay? I kid you not. That's how I know some white people are good. And some white people know that black people are good. There's a white kid named after my father. End of story. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, I believe. So when you look at this thing, it is culture. What happens when they accepted the culture of Africa, right? They're good people, right? They're like, look, these people are good people. We're good people. And we're always going to remember because of the name we gave our child. We're always going to remember that this person did this for us, this black guy, this African guy. Not, and the way Masons do it is different. They twist people's arms. Yeah, we'll give you this charity if, you got to help us propagate our despicable falsehood. That's not the Igbo way. My dad says saved skinheads' lives. Okay? You give people their fair treatment, their rightful place, regardless of how despicable they are and what they believe. And if their rightful place is fucking shot in the head, you give them that too. Am I wrong? Can you hear the liberals? Can you imagine them, right? No, violence isn't always the answer. Yes, you are wrong. It's sad you see it that way. Can you imagine? Yeah. Imagine being me in California. 45 minutes from Frisco, Santa Cruz, and Berkeley, and all these places. 45 hour 15. Depending on how much of an asshole you are when you drive and how late it is and what have you. Oh, boy. And so, I want you to truly look at this thing, man. Can we be who we are? Can we be free without being who we are? If someone else tells us who we are and how to behave according to their perspective, which happens to be bad for humanity, destroying the environment and destroying us. These are the people who destroyed chivalry. How can white people then turn around and say, stop, this is not our culture. If you don't like it, go away. But you're the people who destroyed chivalry and morality, you and the Zionists. You destroyed your culture. I don't like the destroyers of your culture, and you don't like me for it. Any questions? No offense to the Zionists in charge, but you have an appalling inability to put people in their place. And as a result, people who should be on the same side are fighting with each other, right? You and all your psychops, your white establishment, you and all your buddies. So I'm going to do you all a favor. All the Masonic philosophers who are about to be very angry, I'm going to, who are white, you are going to be given a white devil dunce cap, excuse me. You're going to sit in the fucking corner, okay? That's your fucking place, you bitch. Let that sink in for a second. That's your fucking place, you bitch. Okay. With that being said, feminism came as a result of chivalry dying. The answer isn't to accommodate The bitter feminist men treat us like shit. Now we're gonna make them pay. Break down everything they believe in. And it's always been like this, you know. The answer is to bring chivalry back. Let's put it simply again, shall we? Feminism came as a reaction to the death of chivalry, and the answer isn't to accommodate the feminists who have a grudge, whether they admit it or not. The ones in charge, certainly, for the most part. The answer is, my friends, to bring chivalry back, to bring morality back, which brought chivalry about in the first place. Now let's build the righteous man's hut and not let the big bad wolf blow it down. Let's not try to accommodate the devil hoping he doesn't blow down the hut. Let's get the Cometan soldiers in place. The geeks are like, look, we're geeks and we want to be in charge. So maybe if we kiss the devil's ass, he won't, inspire people to kill us. It's his world. No. We get here together. I'm holding the motherfucking line. Bunch of house niggas on their side. Like, look. Just because we didn't want to get killed, quote unquote, holding the line, you fanatic, doesn't mean we don't know how you feel. We just want to be on the winning team and make sure black people still live in the future. Yeah, you're a pussy. Yeah, I get it. You're a bitch. My tribe lived a long, long time by thinking like me. You're a pussy. Like I was saying, 10 toes down, you bitch. 10 of them, And there's no this little piggy meant to the market. I'm not budging, motherfucker. You're more likely to budge a mountain. Let me tell you how things used to be, Whenever the warriors would leave, a bunch of Freemasons, would spy on people in the forts, okay? Think very carefully. You know I'm right. Make a play about this, help them understand. The warriors would leave, the Freemasons would, spy, they would take advantage, and the warriors, they would even hold court, right? They're like, they feel all cocky with their aprons and shit. We are holding court. And we get the bitches, we get the money, you do what I say, you even bend over for some of us, and then boom, the doors would fly open, to the kingdom, right? To the throne room, and me, The Rock, Kimbo Slice, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, you understand me? Stone Cold, you understand me? Cain Velasquez, nigga, we'd walk in that, nigga, what the fuck is going on, nigga? Nigga, hold on, what is all this shit? Nigga, what the fuck is all this bitch shit, nigga? You got me so fucked up, nigga. You got me fucked up, nigga. You understand me? And then Jet Li would come in, finally, with a cane. I don't like it either. You grab these motherfuckers, nigga, get the fuck off my seat, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The fuck off it. That's what's going on right now. Choose wisely. Are they using psychology and mental health to trick, drug, and dupe people? Gullible, naive, trusting people, some of them pretty decent people, into behaving in a way that is satanic. Those of us who are martial artists see through the bullshit. We feel disturbed. We are those who are awake, and we're like, wow, really? And there's a sexy psychologist from your race, whatever race you are, who thinks in a Western way, riding an old white Jewish Freemason's dick right now. No, right now. Up and down. I have an idea, honey. How we can get over on them. She wants to get paid well. She feels important, empowered. She likes her place in society. You don't know. Oh, you're going to regret that. Oh, yeah. You don't know who you're dealing with. She's all in the mirror and shit like, I am powerful. I'm like the Wicked Witch of the West. Because she has to adopt that philosophy. Because what she's doing is dead wrong and fucking depraved. Come on. This video is called There Is a Would Have Been. Gorgeous, tantalizing, tempting, ooh, breathtaking. Would have been, ooh. Just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Woman from your race who is a psychologist, who is now a shriveled soul, evil, cruela de Villa looking bitch writing. A rich old white Jewish Freemason's dick talking about how she's going to fuck over your race with psychology. And how she's going to use all the attractive women in her family to do it. And if that doesn't bother you, fuck you. Brothers, consider this. The serpent crawls on the earth because of its inability to transcend. The dragon can fly because it started off being able to transcend. And now, in the air, it mimics and it sees in a way that's similar to the falcon. But then there's the creator that's the greatest of all. The falcon is not supposed to directly take on the devil. However, he is supposed to inspire the flock, the birds of a feather to work together and bring them down. Okay? So when you look at the falcon, he flies above. He looks at it from different angles. He can also land and see it from kind of the serpent's perspective. And he eats the serpent like a warrior might eat the heart of his enemies in some cultures, to absorb its soul and understanding from a spiritual perspective, right? And perhaps there's also, I look at it, martial arts, spirituality, religion. And that's my perspective. All in one. Egypt, African. Speaking of African culture, from the African culture, we promoted and nourished genes of people with overstanding morality, physical prowess, martial arts prowess. That's why my family, not all of them actively do martial arts, but they have those genes, right? So Western, we talk about overstanding, as Sonequa Shakur, I believe, coined it. I heard an interview with him, or a recording with him and Pac, where he said he calls it overstanding, right? So they're overstanding, overflying, we'll say, oversoaring, the oversight, right? This is a new angle of perception, right? You're looking at it from the different angles at once as a falcon is one way to look at it. Instead of being very close to it and just seeing it from here, you have the bird's eye view. And the falcon, the dove, these are noble birds, as opposed to what the Bible calls unclean birds. And of course, the most unclean bird of all is the dragon, where it has venomous mouths. It's the more poisonous, arguably, than the snake. Look at the Komodo dragon and the fire and so on, right? So we look at the Western Nazi form of this kind of mental health, occult, pseudoscientific, human, quote-unquote, humanistic, atheistic, agnostic, atheistic, Satanist, kind of the conglomerate, the confederacy of these groups, form of eugenics. It is trying to create a world where the dragon will be comfortable, kind of like hell, right? He breathes fire. Everything he touches burns, He's miserable. It's his curse. It's the curse of the serpents. Their inability to transcend and achieve happiness, and that knowledge and peace when one soars is a martial artist, a religious man, and a true scientist, a natural scientist of God, and not some kind of satanic twist of science. Thank you. From that same point of view, those who accept the true philosophy and the prophets who traveled the world to deliver the original African, kind of Afro-Asiatic doctrine, where you could consider that the Middle East and Africa, are one, is one way to look at it, to try to understand where this all came from, versus the Babylonian philosophy, which is propagated by the Ashkenazi from Germany, that's where they were. So as such, the land of the German people is cursed. And so many of them are occultists who see it that way. So there's a whole lot of German Satanists. And of course, we see that with the various organizations that use Nazis and satanic symbolism. And we see that with the occult, and so on. They chose to sell their people's soul to the devil for global control. And as you see, the devil's keeping his end of the bargain. He just didn't give it to him right away, right? He didn't let the Germans take over as an army, as a military force, but rather as a covert series of lodges, network of lodges that work with, in concert, in cahoots with the Zionist power structure to slowly slither its anaconda body around its victim, which is the human race. So those white people who have Afro-Asiatic doctrine versus those who have Babylonian / Ashkenazi Talmudic, where the Talmud, remember, it came from Babylon, but it spread, right? Those who have that kind of a philosophy, that's really where the line in the sand is, right? There's a variety of African philosophies that maintain a certain ancient paradigm. Then there are a variety of Babylonian philosophies that create Babylonian systems and subsystems that follow certain ancient paradigms and protocols that are consistent with the thought of academia, especially occultists and psychiatrists and social engineers and biodemographists within the academic community. Again, from the occultist, their perspective, the whites who are sympathetic, they're eugenicists, right? They're looking at genes. They're saying nature is how you study God. Human nature is how you understand the man. Nature gives us all the answers. Nature. Natural deists, okay? From their perspective, any white person who is sympathetic to Afro-Asiatic philosophy, which is the Abrahamic faiths, right? And the Egyptian philosophy in its pure form and so on, right? Anyone who's sympathetic to that has certain genes that come from, we'll say, we might say Cain and Abel, they come from your Romulus versus, Narmer, right? And however you want to view it, it comes from this kind of good stock of people who are compassionate. And they say, well, if you cannot tolerate our evil agenda, you must be from that stock of people. And logically, the majority of those genes are in Africa. So they're going to be the biggest victims of eugenics. And we're going to also screen out those genes from every other race, which have them to varying degrees. And we're going to justify this being suppressed by even people in their own races by saying, hey, if people see it his way, they're going to think black people are superior. What that happens to our races, Now, regardless how you view it, the truth must come to the light, and we must be in accord with nature. Let's get to the bottom of this. Why can't they answer my debate? Why do they have a weaker white supremacy argument? Why do they have a weaker argument for multiculturalism? Why does everyone have a way weaker argument and I have a solid, firm, unavoidable one? You tell me that.